Hello and welcome to the Breakfast Club on Asake Online. My name is Lesley Moyo. We continue with our coverage of the road to the 2023 August elections, and we continue with our profiling of candidates from various constituencies around the country. This time around, we traveled all the way to Beitbridge and to speak to some of the candidates who are running for office in the border town. Today on the program, we're joined by Mr. Renatho Ndou, who is the aspiring candidate for CCC in the Beitbridge East constituency. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Lesley.
Let's start off by you introducing yourself. Tell us more about yourself.
My name is Renatho Ndou, popularly known as Tsumbo. Tsumbo is a Venda word which means legacy. I was born and raised in a village called Msane here in Beitbridge. That's where I did my primary education. Then I did my secondary education at Sioka Secondary School. I'm proud to say all my life I've been a Beitbridge person. And I foresee myself dying a Beitbridge person. There's no other life that I know. So unlike others where they will come and pride themselves to be having experience of having there and there and there, my only experience is Beitbridge. I know the terrain very well, the challenges and everything about it.
Okay, you are an aspiring candidate. Maybe tell us about that and why you decided to venture into politics.
I've been passionate about reading about politics. Worker representation as when I was still at work, but never did I ever dream of running for any other political office in my life till an invitation came. When people said, we think you might be a better person to represent us in this aspect. And being the man who believes like I do, and half the time, if not all the time, that I draw my conviction from my faith. My faith also accepted that I should. That's why I took up the offer to represent my community.
And what was your reaction when that invitation came from the constituency?
In my life, in my journey of this life, there are things that I came to realize later, but I came to accept that I was a leader in my own right in the community, because like one day I invited some boys for a braai. When we were braaiing there, one legal practitioner says, "You mfana, you owe me. Urukuona urikujika pa same plate na mdara Tsumbo. Have you ever dreamt kutungajika pa same plate na mdara Tsumbo?" So such things made me realize how the community perceived me. So when they made that invitation, I just realized they are realizing what I am, and I have to accept and honor the perspective that they have about me, and I have to keep it up.
And maybe let's look at the constituency. So maybe tell us how it is made up in terms of the profile of the area that is a Beitbridge East constituency.
Beitbridge East constituency start off from Beitbridge town. There are 3 urban wards and 7 rural wards. And of the 7 rural wards, one is basically the resettlement area, which is farms. So it would be the most wide one in terms of square area, but in terms of population, it's not. Then the other one is a peri-urban. There is a township, Lutumba, then, and the villages around. So in brief, that's how Beitbridge East looks like.
And what are the challenges that the people they are facing? Maybe let's look at infrastructure. What are the challenges that they're coming across?
Yeah, just like any rural constituency in Zimbabwe, we have challenges in terms of education. There are no high school schools around. There is only one boarding school. Also, in terms of tertiary, we have got only one vocational training center that was established by the Roman Catholics in Lutumba. So we really lag behind on in terms of education. We probably about 60 or 70% of our population here, they rely in other districts and other provinces for their high school education for their kids because of the shortage of schools around. The shortage of schools does not only limit to just structures like building only, it also limits to facilities. We of all these high schools that we have, none is offering science subjects. So, you know, when you don't do science and the way the technology is moving us to, we are really disadvantaged. Then in terms of the road networks are very, very bad. Not even one stretch of our rural roads is tarred. Not even one stretch of our rural roads is tarred. Fine, those which are being attended here and there, they are also bad in terms of drainage and also that needs to be attended to. In terms of healthy, fine, we have got clinics here and there, but no ambulances to attend to those clinics. Also staff shortages. These are all challenges that we get across. In terms of employment, we don't have any industry. One time a mine was about to start to do coal, but it failed off. Here in town, we had 2 hotels closing down, banks. We had almost every bank that is registered in Zimbabwe trading here in Beitbridge, but they've all relocated. You know, these are some of the challenges that we have. Peace Mass had set a nice clinic, but that clinic have since closed because of their challenges that they have. So we really have these challenges facing us as a constituency.
Okay, if you are elected the Beitbridge East Member of Parliament, what are your key priorities in terms of maybe let's start off, maybe let's say policy. What are the policy issues that you want to push in Parliament for this constituency?
The policy issues that I think needs to be attended urgently is probably the employment policies. We look at, we had a company like Beachman, it was here in town. Of all the workforce that it had, I never met even one person that was locally. So you have this company coming to do a national project here, and they don't employ locally. So then we should have a policy where we will say, for everyone who's coming to do a national project here, you should give us a quota of employment, to say probably 10%, 20%, especially of the unskilled labor, than to have labor coming from outside. Also, in terms of contracts, we feel for national projects, the government should also try and give a quota to the local businesses. We had Rubex, it was here. All the subcontracts were coming from Harare and Bulawayo. Nothing was there for us as the local people. So these are challenges that we feel we should attend to them.
You spoke earlier on about issues to do with education, around health. How would you want to address those challenges?
In terms of education, we'll engage the authorities to establish one government boarding school in the constituency to try and cover up. Also, probably we make it more or less of a pilot setup where we make it the school of excellence that will cover for all or for most of our intelligence kids so that they are accommodated in that school. Because with the challenges of resources, fine, we can't be advocating for several schools at the moment. Probably we advocate for one school. That one school, we say it covers for most science subjects or most technical subjects, and we get most of our the intelligent kids to get there. Then we use that one as a pilot so that we can grow out from there.
You mentioned earlier on that you received an invitation from the community and you took it up. How is the campaign going? Any challenges that you're facing?
Yeah, so far the campaign is moving smoothly. Fine, challenges will always be there. Here and there, we still have the rural community still gripped with fear from yesteryears. So they don't want to come out open, so we rely on door to door. We can't do rallies there. not because anyone have threatened them now, but that yesteryear influence of fear is still gripping most of our rural communities. But we think we will push through.
You live in a border town, and I think one of the issues that always comes up is that local people always leave the country to search for better opportunities. Beitbridge being closer to South Africa, you see a lot of people obviously leaving the country to go to South Africa. How does that affect even the local economy itself, where your most skilled young people leave the country and go and serve other communities?
Yeah, for us living in the border, fine. For people who do transit and border jumping, they are more of transit. We don't really have that much interaction with. But what I will probably try and highlight on is the facility on its own, the border, the modernization of the border. We appreciate the effort. It's so nice, world class. But it also came with its own challenges. With the pros that I've just highlighted, there are also challenges that it brought up with us. We rely, our economy here in town, it's only driven by the border. Nothing else drives our economy. So any hardship, like the increased toll, the introduced toll, all those has a direct and a negative effect on the performance of other small downstream. For one to buy meat from a butcher, he should have done cross-border, he should have done clearing, he should have done what for him to earn and come and buy meat, or get to a grocery shop, get to a hardware shop, you know. So these new tolls have a negative effect on our economy. And a lot of informal or the cross-border traders, they have been pushed out of business because of these new tariffs. And our plea is probably we should revisit the tariff regime. Look, we are not saying it should come for free, but it should come at something probably that people will afford to.
Okay. And then I was also going to ask around the issue of, you touched on development, that the border has been revamped, it's looking world class. But let's look around the area itself, where development is still yet to catch up. Being a border town that makes money for the country, do you feel like there's more development that needs to be done to spruce up the area, especially being the face of the country, if I was to put it that way?
Yeah, we would have appreciated it more if they would have a retention policy where they say whatever is being made out of here, they retain here for social services. As it is, by just having a small amount of rain raining here, we don't have drainage. We just have flash floods just from there. And we feel from our ratepayers and what we cannot afford to implement such a social infrastructure development. We will need the fiscals to assist us on that aspect. So we need to have drains. Our drainage are very poor. Fine water, they've done us better. We've got a new treatment plant. We've got a new water reservoir. So what's left now is probably for our local council to do the reticulations, which is fair, which is much better from my end. Then also from social service, if we return something, we might also increase on these social services because we are lagging behind. Fine, they have done us a good fire station, but we still don't have the equipment to use in the fire stations.
Okay, and the town is expanding. You see a lot of housing projects coming up. You touched on the issue of roads. Isn't service delivery now supposed to be accelerated to meet up with the demand, especially for housing now and other social services that need to support this growth that Beitbridge is experiencing?
We appreciate the growth, but the saddest part of this growth, it's only social growth. We don't have economical growth. We don't even have a single industry in Beitbridge. So with the side effects that are being that we're starting to experience with the cost of the border, we are going to have a slowdown in that social development, because all what is being built around here in Beitbridge are houses. And the houses, you only need to come and sleep when you're coming from work. And we don't have that work. So we call upon for investment to come. We have industries, open up mines. We've got few minerals around here, diamond and coal at abundance. So if we can have investment along those lines, I think we will address our social needs from a better angle.
Okay. And what sort of investment? Because earlier on, when you were doing your introduction, you spoke of how some businesses are closing and relocating. Isn't that a concern for locals, where instead, because of the growth of the border town, more businesses should be coming in, seeing that there are more people are being attracted to this area?
Yeah, we were happy when they came. We were seeing growth in our town, but it said they are moving away. And some of the factors, like I highlighted, the border scenario, it's one of the side effects that we're having, the cost of doing business at the border. When we look at investment, we are not only grouped at probably manufacturing and mining. We are one of the best farming areas. We have got the best climate. Growing up, like I indicated earlier, we used to have vegetables, tomatoes coming in from afar. But with the underground watering system, no one can bring vegetables in Beitbridge. No one can bring tomatoes in Beitbridge because of our climate. We've got the best climate. We have got the best oranges in the world. So we also need to embrace and probably invest more into our farming. Currently, we've got the best beef in Zimbabwe. We pride ourselves with those things, but we need to invest in such things so that we can return and have enjoy our social benefits out of those things.
As a community leader and as a parent, you always want the best out of your children, even the young people from this area. And most of them, when they get educated or they get skilled, they tend to want to leave the country. But how does that then affect, because you spoke passionately about wanting to see Beitbridge grow, the economy of Beitbridge grow, but you have these young people who are skilled, who are educated, who are living. But also, I'm sure you're conflicted as a parent and as a community leader. You'd want your children to have better opportunities, but at the same time, you want them to come back and invest their skill in building Beitbridge.
Yeah, it's quite a thorny issue, but we put the blameless square on people aged 55 and below. They did not take up the space at the relevant time. So that's one of the reasons that motivates us to stand up now and say, let's build our country. No one will build this country for us. People that we have been relying on that will build our country, they're aging. So we need to take up that space so that we can take over the baton, and when the time is right, we pass it on the baton to the next generation. And we are saying for them, we would love them to be here because this is their home. You grow well, you prosper well when you are in your environment. If you go to a foreign land, we have seen what have happened to our people when they start to grow big. People start asking, who's this person, who's this person? Whereas if you grow big in your own land, we start to celebrate you. We've seen how other countries celebrate their people when they grow big. But we have seen how our people, when they grow big in foreign land, stones are thrown on them to try and suppress them, never to grow. So we are saying, if we continue having them going our way, we are not assisting them in any way. Let them grow up here, we appreciate them here, we celebrate them here, and also the world tend to celebrate those people with us, unlike when we let them go our way.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ndou, for taking time to speak with us concerning the issues that you're raising. You're really showing a lot of passion around issues of community development and seeing the local economy here in Beitbridge prospering. That was Mr. Renatho Ndou, who is the aspiring candidate for the Citizens Coalition for Change in Beitbridge East constituency. My name is Lesley Moyo. Join us again in the next edition of The Breakfast Club tomorrow.